This afternoon. Well, also in the news, I suppose really, it's been dominating a lot of the social media and sites, has been the fans petition that will be leaving Rockingham Road on September the 28th from 6 o'clock down to the council offices and putting over a petition to the council. And you've been covering this for the Telegraph.
Yeah, I mean, our news team have been covering it, and it's been extensive. Kudos to the guys who are behind it. Richard Atkinson, in particular, has been making a lot of noise until he's heard. So fair play to him. And yeah, I mean, look, it's an interesting one because here we are at Latimer Park, which they're doing their best to make home. They've got provisional plans that they'd like to develop here if at all possible, but always lurking over the club is that shadow in Rockingham Road, and that shadow is still there. It's still, even in the state it's in, and you see new pictures every week on social media, on Facebook and everything like that. People are going down there to take a look and take pictures of it and everything. And it's soul destroying to see because I think I put on Twitter this week, there is a part of me, anyone who knows me knows that I watched my football as a kid at Rockingham Road. That's where me.
You're not bald.
that's where me and my dad went to go and watch football when I was younger, and it's a fantastic non-league stadium, and I would love to see them go back and play there, but at the same time, there's part of me that wishes it just be razed to the ground, and then that way it's no longer an argument. But while it's still standing, and while that shell of all those dreams and memories and everything that people had is still there, then people are obviously going to hang on to it, So, but the difficulty comes with, well, what do you do? And the scenario is this: it's a privately owned ground, as we know.
That's what I was going to come to. It's all down to the landlord, isn't it?
It is.
I
mean, it's a shame because the club are doing what they can in terms of the what they want the council to do in terms of giving it the opportunity, so it becomes an asset of community value, which I firmly believe, by the way, that's what it is, because it is. It's been in the community for 100 years. It's served the community well. It's put Kettering on the map. And anyone from the council who wants to have an argument with me or anyone else about that, I'll sit with them for hours and tell them why it is, because I've seen it for myself. And by the way, without going on too much of a rant about it, the council, at every given opportunity, when there's been success for the club, have jumped onto it as quickly as they possibly can. Council leaders and everything like that, who you wouldn't see anywhere near the ground, anything like that. But they go and beat, Notts County or whoever in the FA Cup, and all of a sudden they want a piece of the action. That's not the way, in my opinion, that's not the way it should work. But at the same time, if you're going to take that when the success is good, then at some point along the line you've got to do the other thing, and you've got to help them out. And as a resident of Kettering and a football fan who lives in Kettering, I'm not a fan of the club, so to speak, anymore. I want to see them do well because of the job I do. But as a football fan and as a resident of Kettering, I think it's a disgrace. I genuinely do. I don't mind saying it. I think they're a disgrace for not giving an inch, not even trying to give them an inch. For anything, not just this, for anything. In the past, we've seen it time and time again, and it's really, really frustrating. Chairman, every single chairman that I can recall being at this club has tried, really hard at one point or another to try and solve this long-standing ground issue that rumbles on and on and on every single season. Always comes up, and every single time they've had the door slammed shut in their faces. So, I don't think the council do themselves any favour. They don't cover themselves in glory, and they can turn around and say as many times as they want, it's only a certain percentage of the population of Kettering. Who cares? It's still a percentage of the people who live in Kettering.
Compared to other institutions in the town, it's a higher percentage than the majority, isn't it?
I was having a conversation with my mate as I came over here today, and we were talking about what puts Kettering on the map. If you go to anywhere in the country and you say, we're from Kettering, 99 times out of 100 they'll go, the Poppies. Yeah. 99 times out.
What else have we got now in Kettering? The third rate amusement park. I mean,
yeah, exactly. But that's probably the other thing that I'd say puts Kettering on the map. So look, I think the council have got a job to do, but the fans are standing up for themselves. The fans are doing what they can, and fair play to them. Because this has been a long time coming, to be honest. And fair play to Richard and everyone else.
Was when they had the red card, wasn't it?
Exactly.
The Fulham game, wasn't it?
When, yeah, that's it. Yeah, and so fair play to them. They'll go down. As long as they go down there, make their point nice and calmly, which is what they've got to do. Hand the petition over, 2,500 names on it or whatever it is, and go and hand it over and make sure the point is made. That's all they can do, and as long as they've done that, then they've done their bit. Then it's over to the council to make their decision. But the frustrating thing about this is that, just coming back to the original point about it being with, obviously being held by a private landlord. That's what, in an ideal world, you want the club and the landlord to get together and just see. Because if you do that, then you take the council out of the equation anyway.
Well, exactly. I mean, the way I look at it is that if the landlord wanted to do business with the Kettering Town Football Club, he would have done that.
Yeah. I mean,
that clearly hasn't happened.
Yeah, I think there's been bridges burned along the way, which we know about. We were there when they were burned. So there's obviously a lot of work to do. But I take my hat off to the fans behind all this, because they've given up their time to go and do it. In the belief that they want to belong at Rockingham Road, which is where they think their spiritual home is, which is what it is. That is what it is. So I hope something comes out of it. I'm not going to hold my breath, because, why should you? Previous history when it comes to dealing with the council and the football club would suggest, something might not happen. But if they can just go and make their point, then that's good enough for me, and I take my hat off to them, and we'll certainly, as a paper, continue to give them the coverage and back them as much as we can.
Thank you, John. Well, those are the views there from Jon Dunham, quite frank and to the point. Once again, John, always interesting to have you aboard, and we'll no doubt have a glass of orange juice after the game, as usual.
Absolutely. While I'm in training, Cookie.
You've been training. We're going to bring on now.